everybody. Thanks for joining me for this week's Gathering Place podcast. I want to let you know before you view it that there are some technical difficulties that I was having with this week's show. So thank you for your patience. You're going to hear a little static throughout, but I did my very best to edit it out. I didn't want to completely not put it out there for you guys because there was some really good information shared and some thoughts shared just about, everything that's happening currently. So I do hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you learn something from it and that you have an opportunity to reflect yourself on your very own growth. So thanks for joining me. See you guys next time. Bankston back for season 2 of the Gathering Place podcast. I'm so excited today. I'm here with my friends Andrea and Sasha. We are here today. We're going to be talking about not a vision board. What's it called again, Sledge?
Note to self, positive self affirmations board.
Yes, a positive self affirmations board. So this is when we think about everything that's happening in the climate, all the different stuff that's happening in our world. It's very easy to become super overwhelmed, super depressed, super angry, to hold on to bitterness, all this other kind of stuff. And then you may even begin to question what you have to offer or the things that you're able to do. So this is something that, tell us about how this came about.
Okay, so how it all came about, well, let me just go back. Me and Sasha, we were at the Dollar Tree months and months and months ago. We bought some supplies. We said we're going to make a vision board. So I make a vision board every 2 years, give or take. But I bought the supplies, and then the other night, May 30th, 2020, 10 p.m., I was ironing. And I looked over and I saw my board. So I saw the board that Sasha and myself had purchased, and I still hadn't made a vision board. But
and this is May 30th.
This was May 30th, yes, 2020. I was in no mood to make a vision board because where I was at, I didn't even have vision.
We can talk about that for a minute.
I didn't have vision, and I still don't have vision. I'm going to be honest. But when I thought about it, I said, Lord, I need to do something with this board. I have a lot on my heart. I got a lot on my mind right now. Give me something. I have to get this out right away. So I got my daily motivational devotional book by Joel Osteen, and I went right to that date, and I read, and then I just grabbed up my magazine, all my supplies, and went to my bedroom floor. I wasn't even on a table or anything. Just on my bedroom floor, and I just started cutting. And this COVID-19 began for me March 13th, 2020, and my birthday was 10 days later, March 23rd. So I celebrated my 25th birthday.
I'm going to need you to be honest with everybody in America.
In quarantine.
I'm going to need you to be 1,000% honest with everybody.
Well, I celebrated a birthday. March 23rd with my twin brother. No, our 40th birthday. 40th. And
which is a blessing.
It's a blessing.
It's a wonderful milestone.
It's a blessing.
Shout out to Dre. Hey, Coco.
Shout out to Dre.
So, here it is.
So just make sure that you kind of hold that steady so everybody can see. So this is, like, if you can see everything that was on her heart and everything that was on her mind. I'm going to let you get back to talking. I do want to hear from Sasha, too, because it's a lot of stuff that we have that we don't always get a chance to process. We don't always get to talk it out. You don't know who you can talk to about everything. And so some things are just so bottled up inside that, like you said, Lord, I got to get this out. So the first thing that my eye is drawn to is the work at home. Every person that works in any arena, not just educators, but people that were doing customer service, people that were doing restaurant, people that were doing anything, you're now in this position. March 13th for us was the day that the world stopped. Yep. And it's like now, like as educators, now we got to teach, don't you?
She's in the school district.
In the school district. Listen, we're not going to get into no bitter stories about the school district.
That's another episode. I'm still working.
Another podcast. Hey. That's separate. We're not going to do that because I ended up going back to work too. People, that's why you haven't seen me in 6 or 7 months. So I went back to work. Anyway, working from home, means that you got to try to provide educational resources for kids. You got to keep up with them. I know the parents is mad because they got to work and all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah, you the teacher, you the lunch aide, you the cleaner, the janitor, you the mother, the father, the secretary.
Yeah.
You the gym teacher, because you have to provide all of these resources to your child and your student now, because they've transitioned from on site at a building to in the home.
In the home. So you have work from home, you got COVID at the bottom, you got a lot of different things. Just tell us about what was on your mind when you were doing it.
Right there, starting in March, that's when it all just hit the fan. So I did have a birthday cake that I provided and picked up for my twin and myself. So that was in March. But soon as we transitioned into April, reality struck. I'm going to be working from home for a minute. So I just did a lot of reading, a lot of talking, a lot of listening with my friends, my family, downloaded the house party app, partook in so many situations of virtual meetings. I felt like I was virtually meeting with everyone, from students to family to friends, just to keep that, that constant communication going, maintain social distancing. And so that's what April for me was about. And living alone is definitely, I won't say I was totally depressed and just, a little sad by the self-isolation, but it was definitely hard not to be able to physically see a lot of the people that I'm used to seeing really often. So April was reality for me. And then my mom's birthday was in April too, so we had to have a really small 3-person situation. So, that's reality. And then here we are in May. We had a trip scheduled to Las Vegas, and as I indicated here in May, it was no play. Again, trip canceled, no MGM, it was over. But again, just for our students, I made several videos for my students, and for some people for their birthdays, and I impressed myself with some of the videos.
Impressed yourself.
I mean, I was rapping, I was doing creative things.
Bars.
That's what I do.
Oh, that's what you do.
That's what I do.
Okay.
So, I mean, by May 30th, I had really impressed myself, coming from a place where, all of this was in the news. I remember doing the census online when they kept pushing it for us to really get on there and do it by, I believe, April 1st or April. I forgot the date. But I didn't miss it. And it's just a lot in the news. I'm on top of that. So I do the right things. All this stuff. So, congratulate. Y'all don't want me to spend no bars.
Please don't. Just continue, please.
So just, everything in the news, from those stimulus check, from just being able to watch people around me not have jobs, waiting for their unemployment, waiting for stimulus, our small businesses just closing down in front of us. I mean, all of this is just in the news daily. So I'm saying, hey, positivity, positive vibes is something that I felt I needed at that moment. And I know that the future is full of positivity, because I'm, loving the Lord.
Rooted and grounded in Christ.
Yes, and like you said, God gives us the power to produce.
Yes, He does. Yes, listen.
And so this was what I produced, in spite of the Clorox, Lysol, mask, gloves. I'm well, and all I did during this COVID-19 was snack. But I didn't gain any weight. I didn't lose none. But I sure didn't.
You got to count the blessings.
Yeah.
That was a blessing.
So, yeah.
So, Sasha, tell me, like, when you were dealing with maybe the separation, or like when everything started for you, how did you transition from like work to home, or what was something that you had to work through personally during this time?
So I think the hardest thing for me was being away from my parents. My sister came out from Dayton, so she was staying with me for a while. So that was a good thing for me because I got to have my sister, so I wasn't completely alone.
That's good.
But it was being away from my parents, and not being able to completely check on them every single day, or could talk to them, but not check on them every single day and worrying about my dad because he actually is someone who works at a hospital. So by, him being at a hospital and worrying about him every single night because he didn't stop work. He kept working, and I'm like, are you okay? Are they providing you with anything? Is there going to be a change in your job? Do you need anything? And my mom, she works in the school district as well. So, and she works with little people. And anybody in the school district knows we love our little people.
Love the little ones.
But they're little petri dishes as well. So, but they are little germ carriers. They're carriers. But she's a little older, so I was worried about her being exposed to anything. You know what I mean? At her age, she's at that age, in that age range where people are a little afraid to they shouldn't be outside. They shouldn't be in. And then I miss my kids. Like, I miss the kids at school. Like, I was still. It was frantic when it first happened. It was frantic.
Yeah.
We were trying to get stuff out to kids. Scrambling. I mean, scrambling and answering the tough questions. What's going to happen with prom? What's going to happen with graduation? How are the kids going to turn in their work? What does this mean for their grades? Are they going to get a pass or fail? Are they going to get an actual letter grade? Like, those questions were hard to answer, but we didn't know what to tell parents. So, it was hard. And then during that, transition, I still had to work. I still had to come to school and answer questions and filter things. And so it was hard for me. And, although my sister came up, it was a while before she came up. So I was by myself for a while and not knowing. The not knowing was the hardest part. Like, are we going to get paid? Are we, are they going to have budget cuts right away? Are they going to X jobs? Are they going to? So for me, it was hard. But I also had to understand who's in control.
That's right.
So I didn't have, I didn't really worry because I know God is in control of everything. And whatever happens, I know everything be okay.
That's true.
Yep.
The fortunate thing, people do always talk about when you work in the school district, oh, you guys, this job is easy. You get summers off, you get Christmas break off, blah, 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 all these things. Parents, I know that you know now that working with your children dictates having to have a lot of that time off. However, the fortunate thing is that with the districts, they really did take things slowly. Like, even though it felt like the stuff was coming at us super rapid, they didn't make decisions just like, bam, this is what we're doing. So they didn't make cuts right away. I'm in a place now where I just got word that, of course, the state is going to be cutting the general funds and they're doing a certain percentage, but they supplement that with other funds. So I know that everybody is really just trying to be cognizant of the fact that this virus hit us in a very unsuspected way, and people were able to respond to that. The other thing with this as well is that in this time, people being, like you said, being away from their families and being away, not being able to check on your parents, it left a lot of silent time. Just you're alone with your thoughts. You are thinking about things that may have happened 2 months ago, 2 weeks ago, how you responded, how you could have responded differently. How did you two not go into what I would call like a rabbit hole of like just spiraling, thinking about those things? Because when you're in the quiet like that, it does give you time to just kind of reflect on those things. How did you keep from doing
for
that?
me, I didn't have a lot of idle time. Working 2 jobs, like I told them before, I have 3 laptops and 2 printers hooked up. So for me, constantly working, that kept my mind off a lot of the the idleness, that your mind can start, wandering and then you start, having those anxieties. The only anxiety that I really had was about members of my family or my friends, catching the virus. My brother was still working, my twin, still working, going to work every day with his mask. He has like 50 different masks. Masks for every day of the week, and he was serious, washing them and really just taking care of his health. But then again, a lot of people stop going to the doctor. So by not going to the doctor, have to make sure, hey, is his medicine, is he cool with that, and just a lot of different things. I would worry about at night, but in the daytime, I was like a machine. Doing my job, making sure the students were okay, making sure curriculum is still being delivered. Holding those WebEx sessions virtually for my students, being available via Google Meet, Zoom, you know, whatever platforms we were using, making sure we were still accessible to the students as well as just working.
I was like my cousin, we both were still at work. I was actually go in because there were certain responsibilities that I had to finish and complete weekly or bi-weekly. So I was still at work, answering emails, still speaking with parents, still speaking with kids, and teachers. But another thing for me is that I picked up a new hobby. I bought some skates.
What?
Yep.
Oh
I
my
bought some
gosh.
skates, and I just started skating
That sounds so
around.
fun.
Yeah.
Skate where?
In my garage.
Why are you judging her, sis?
I'm just saying. I mean,
Because
I know
the
she wasn't at the roller rink, and I
wasn't
didn't
at
see
the-
her skating around the condo development.
Yeah, I wasn't because the weather wouldn't allow. Because even in May, it was still snowing.
Right.
If anybody lives in Ohio, you know,
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
Ooh, that
because I was
so
supposed to jump
irritating.
rope outside
It was-
20 times.
it was ridiculous. But you know, I made it work. So I would close my garage door. I would park my car outside in my driveway, and I would just skate down in my basement, or I would skate in my garage.
That's so cool.
And I just, you know, made it a point to like put on music that I like, that I knew that keeps me sane and keeps me going, and keeps me upbeat. And I would just skate. Like, I didn't know how to skate. Well, I knew a little bit how to skate because I had skates when I was younger. But I just picked it back up because I feel like it's one thing. Not only is it something to keep my mind off of what's going on, but it keeps me active. It keeps me up. It keeps me going. And like, I saw a lot of people, they picked up new habits that they never had before. I, you know, busted out my sewing machine. Like, I was like, all right, let me try to, you know, do something that I've never done before. So like for me, it
How'd
was
that
like,
go? What'd you make?
girl, good night, nothing. I made a line. That's what I made.
Oh.
I tried.
Yeah.
You know, Jesus be a fence. I'm still trying. It's a work in progress. But skating went better than the sewing machine. That's a good thing. At least I have more balance than I do alignment. But that's okay. That's all right. But I just wanted to make a conscious decision to not allow the world to change me. I know one day I was in church. New Community Bible Fellowship is the church that I attend.
Shout out Pastor James.
Thanks, Pastor James, and thanks to my cousin. She took me one day and I never left.
That's amazing.
It's
It's good when you can find a good
good.
church
Yeah,
home.
it's wonderful.
Me and my husband found a good church home. It's good when you can find a good church home.
It's a beautiful thing. And one of the pastors, Pastor Nate, he said you have to be a coffee bean. So when you're the world is like water, like a boiling pot of water, and you could be a boiled egg. You put the boiled egg in, and it turns hard, but the water doesn't change. You could be a carrot. The water doesn't change, but the carrot turns soft. But you have to be like a coffee bean. And the coffee bean changes the water, but the coffee bean remains the same. It remains the same. And so I tried the thing that stayed in my mind was just be a coffee bean. Be a coffee bean. Just stay the same. Change the things around you. You know? So that was my go-to every time I felt like I could be or would be go into not necessarily a depression, but a rabbit hole. And then, you know, during this whole thing, to transition from COVID to death, you know, it's another blow to the world that we could go into depression or be angry or, you know, emotional. But you have to remember who is in control. He doesn't let anything happen that isn't supposed to happen.
Right. Let's talk about that for a second. Well, before we get into that, I personally, I'm not going to take long on what I did because you're right. The daytime, because I was still at work, I was still going in every day. I was still responsible for schools, and I still had to make sure that every school was running like it was supposed to be. Calendar full with conference calls. I Zoom more than I ever wanted to. I interviewed more than I ever wanted to. You know, just talking to people and constantly having to give an account for different things and have conversations and stuff like that. And at night, like you said, I had to find something else to do. So I started reading. I started doing more devotionals. I cooked banana bread about 50 million times.
And I still ain't got a piece.
I
That's
was-
the problem.
Okay, I got you. Making all kind of meals and just doing just random anything to keep my mind off of it. I don't think, honestly, like with hearing you two, you know, everybody has their personal story. I don't think I did as well as I could have at night because I could have done more physically. I could have done more to engage myself But when I was asking you guys about the time, I was reflecting on things that I didn't do. So my past, things I let go by the wayside and goals that I had that I didn't get to, and it did really pull me down. Like at night was when I spent a lot of time thinking about it. But thankfully, as the more I read my devotionals, the more I was spending time in the Word, the more I had an opportunity to pray. It really helped me to come out of that. So that was a good thing. So transitioning, like you said, to the recent deaths and people having different opinions and us seeing the things that happen in our city as a result of things that happen in another city, but it happens to all of us. Like just because something happened in a different city doesn't mean it doesn't affect everybody,
right? Every
Black person, nationally. So these things that came about at first, it's like there's the jogger. I think his name was Ahmad. So and he wasn't even the first one, right?
No.
There have been so many just across the years. But the most recent ones for 2020, and I think there was another young lady that happened.
Yeah, Brianna.
So there's Brianna, there's Ahmad, and now we have George Floyd.
And another 33-year-old.
Yeah, there was a young man that got killed.
And my husband and I talk about sometimes it puts you in a place where you hear these things, and sometimes if you're not careful, if you listen to this information, you're like, dang, another one. And I start to say, well, it's not like the police are going to be brought to justice. It's not like anything's going to change. I was guilty of that, but the people rose up because it came to a point where enough is enough. And I know people say, well, I don't understand why they have to destroy their own neighbors, blah, blah, blah. We can talk a million times about people that came in after or whoever the people were, the rioters that were sent there, or whatever the case may be. But the bottom line is that the people spoke up.
Right.
And so in this time where it still is blatant that African Americans' lives are not regarded.
Right.
Our response, personally and to the world, is the only thing we can monitor.
Yep.
We can monitor our response. So what did you ladies see as your response during this time?
Prayer, for me.
For sure.
For me, because I don't think there's any person in this world that can say that if they're within their right mind, they know that they're not stronger than what God can do. So for me, it's prayer. I just pray and pray and pray and pray. I've lost sleep. Just being honest, I've lost sleep about it. You know what I mean? I cried. I've lost sleep. And I thought about all of the people and the ones we don't know about. The ones we can't speak about. We don't know their names. We don't know their stories. We don't have a video. We don't have a recording of what happened to them with their encounter from police officers or those who were supposed to protect and serve and save lives, and they're unfortunately not doing what they have pledged their life to do. So like for me, mine is prayer. I know it's not enough. The words aren't enough. I don't think my words could be enough, or my anger is not what the answer is. We get angry and we tear up a system. I just think about it like this. Okay, so we go out, we loot, and we tear up police cars, and like here in Cleveland, they set 2 police cars on fire. Okay, and every year we pay taxes. Those tax dollars are going right back to them, and they're going to buy 2 more police cars. So we've done nothing. But I just feel like if you know,
but for them, they felt good doing it.
Yeah, they felt good doing it.
They got it off.
They got their feelings off.
Yeah.
But then
physically.
Yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, I look at it like, well, all they gonna do is get it right back.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not a lot of people being big picture.
Yeah, you have.
I'm just very in the moment.
Yeah, in the moment.
Yeah.
And that can, like my mom and grandma always say, you can't cut off your nose to spite your face.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So you have to look at everything, and then what is going to make the most impact. Doing that isn't going to do anything. Going in your own neighborhood to Black-owned businesses or businesses owned by minorities is not going to help. Like, these are people, they didn't do anything. Some people have come overseas to be sure that their families could eat and to be safe, and then to come home to work and see everything trashed everywhere. You know how hard it is to get a license?
It's hard to build.
It's hard. It's hard to build. So I just think prayer it works.
Yes,
Peace, it works. having a platform like you have, it works. Because there are some people, it's a chain. Someone hears you and they relay that information to someone else, and they relay, and it goes on and on.
That's so true. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, same thing for me. I do a lot of listening on certain conversations. Just making sure that I am, quick to listen and slow to speak. So, these conversations have been ongoing even at the workplace virtually. And all I could do was listen to the transparency of some coworkers and our students and what they actually go through, and think, even as an African American female in the workplace, it can come off as you being the angry Black woman.
Yes, it can.
So,
yes, it can. And that's unfortunate too.
Yeah,
it's very unfortunate. I don't want to come off like that, but I am all firm believer in taking up for myself. I've never been someone that's just, if I was feeling a certain way, I have to voice my concerns. But in this, at this time, I just think a lot of it is, as someone put it, we need to be less critical of the person, and we need to be very critical of the situation. It's a lot of people doing wrong. I mean, we're going to continue to do wrong.
We're in a fallen world.
Yes, we
It's
are.
gonna be
So
wrong all the time.
these situations, what can we do to prevent these situations, to overcome these situations, versus continuing to take it out on people?
So what do you ladies say to the person that is like a very much so angry and in the moment type? Because we're good. When we get back to work full time, we're going to encounter those people that are going to say reckless things, that are going to have reckless behavior. They don't want to hear nothing about no message of forgiveness. They don't want to hear anything about thinking before you act or speak. People are angry, and rightfully so, but how do you speak to someone who has a brother that's endured, disparities because of their race with law enforcement officers or whatever it may be? How do you talk to and address those people?
I mean, as I live my life, you just need to proceed with caution. You're not trying to, walk on eggshells, but again, you need to, like the word says, just set an example for the believers in life and love and speech and all of that. So your actions are going to speak louder than those words. So maybe somebody may not say anything to you. I mean, I think at my job, we're a close-knit educational environment in which I don't think anyone would come reckless. Well, speak reckless to me.
Black or white?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's more so maybe someone may miscommunicate. I mean, say something and be like, oh, I didn't really mean it like that, or I don't know, but I don't really foresee any problems. But as far as what my brother deals with, yeah, he has some issues at his place of employment, where he's had to talk to several people about the N-word and using it, and he had to tell someone, hey, that's not okay. He said they answered the phone and they handled the situation, and then they hung it up and said, stupid. He said, whoa, 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 whoa. So, I would be eager to speak with him more about it, because he has a lot to say in how he handled that and how he will continue to handle it going forward in light of all that's going on right now.
It would be interesting. I mean, I've only had Seneca to talk to, but it would be interesting to hear the perspectives of other Black men. Because I know people try to put a lot of things on them. They must be angry. They must need a lot of allowances. Now we have to try to handle them with kid gloves and all these different things that may not even be true. I believe at the end of the day, like any person, Black men just want to be respected.
Right. Absolutely.
They just want to be respected. Like, treat them as human beings. Treat them as, people that you would treat like you would treat
your other
anyone else.
counterparts.
Your other counterparts. So, yeah, I think it would be interesting to kind of have that conversation and kind of get their perspective. What about you, Sashi?
Just be the change you want to see in the world. easiest way. Like, you know how you want to be treated. So it's a golden rule. Treat others the way you would like to be treated. Like, if you see someone and they don't understand something, explain it to them. Every moment is a teachable moment. It doesn't have to be a moment where you're angry and you're hostile. And some people just really don't know.
They don't.
They really don't know.
And how do you address that?
And that's where miscommunication is.
It's not negatively, but how do you? So some of them don't know.
Yeah.
And so they don't know how to respond. They use words like these people, you people, or they don't know about the lengths that sometimes Black people have to go to code switch, to fit in, to be 1,000 times better, just so that we can get the work or whatever the case may be. So how do you address it when those times of lack of education for culture or cultural sensitivity, when those things come up?
Sometimes people want to see you lose your cool.
That's true.
Sometimes they do it.
They do.
To see you just sometimes you just don't say a word.
Don't let them pull
you.
you.
Your actions.
And sometimes your actions will show that their ignorance is there. Like, you just look at them and just say, I hope you have a good day. Sometimes you just have to show them that your words are not going to break me and who I am. Because at the very end of the day, they're going to say, see, I told you, I knew it,
Oh, yes.
I knew it.
Oh, yes.
And that's sometimes what people wait for. They wait for you to be the stereotypical angry black woman, or stereotypical angry, ignorant man that you're not. Sometimes people push you because they don't know what type of day you have, but honestly they don't care. And it's just not, it's not worth. You have to think about all these things. Am I going to lose my job? Is somebody recording me? Are my kids going to see this? Just all types of things. I know for me, one of my favorite episodes of A Different World is when A Different World. Yep, I'm dating myself. That's my jam.
You're not.
I'm not. Okay, A Different World, because it's still on TV. So okay. I'll take it. So I'll take it. So A Different World was when Ron and Dwayne Wayne, they were at the football game, and some of y'all know what I'm talking about. And Dean Cain and his counterparts were like going back and forth with them about the football game. So they made a bet, and in the bet, Ron hustled them because he knew that their star quarterback was going to be sick.
Right.
Fast forward, they start to put the N-word on Ron's car. And they start fighting, so they take him to jail, but it was really at the school, so we all know that ain't real jail, but they take him to the school, and then they proceed to tell their stories about what happened. So the police officer, Dwayne is talking to the police officer, and he goes, you on their side, and he said, yeah, I could be a card-carrying member of the KKK. He's like, yeah, and he said, or I could have marched with Dr. King, you don't know. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, we look at people and we automatically think that they are something, but they may not be. So for me, like, I feel like don't give people the satisfaction of giving them what they want, of how they see you. You know what I mean? Because they don't know you, and they want to see you in a different light because they want to see you in the light that they perceive you in. So just
they perceive
all of a specific race.
It actually speaks to the character of the person that would take time to try to find out.
Yep.
Because some people don't even take time to try to find out,
Nope.
which is really a lot of the reason why we're in the situation we're in right now. So we started off our conversation talking about personal affirmations and notes to self, right? And we have all of these tools in front of us, and I know that you guys are making a personal affirmations board or vision board, whatever you were choosing to do, is not a new thing. We've all done it. We've had parties, people do workshops, but we really wanted to. That was the kind of gateway to this conversation, to really just give our perspective on what we see, how we respond, and how we can kind of take everything that's going on inside of us and make it visual, so that we have a reminder of this time in our